What's going on, everyone? NFT Day is in the books. We've got football back in action this evening. Week 3 kicking off. We're going to talk some Rumble. We're going to walk through the slate. Do it. Get us started, my friend.
Now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions of NFL fans around the world, from the OTM headquarters to your ears, let's get ready to rumble!
Speaking of Koopies in the chat, JM, Josh Allen, Sergeant Stogie, Brian, Jason, Taylor, Eric in the building, Iron Man bonus speculation. That's right. For those of you that saw it in Discord on X in the email that got sent out today, we're going to be teasing out the Iron Man bonus as a part of the free entry Rumble. And just going to break down all of the things for all of you today. First things first, if you have not already, make sure you head on over otmnft.com/rumble. Hit up the lobby and enter that free Rumble contest. That's right. Rumble is back every single week the rest of the season through week 17. We will be having a weekly contest, totally free to enter. Prizes paid out in Dapper Balance this week. The top 100 get that cash money with a $250 top prize. So make sure you enter there. We've got the Thursday night wrinkle coming into effect this evening, which is a nice little segue to the slate breakdown. So first here, if you head on over to the Flash Challenge terminal, first off, if you do not own a Jolly Joker, you got to make sure you get yourself a Jolly Joker so you can access all of the Own the Moment tools for NFL All Day, for NBA Top Shot. Head on over to our friends at Floaty. You can purchase a Jolly Joker for as cheap as like $65 right now. So floor looking pretty good on those for anybody that is not yet in the community. Get you access to tools such as this. But here you can see all of the matchups that we've got for week 3 in the NFL. Can see also the Vegas line and the over-unders for each of those. So we talked about the Rumble wrinkle this evening. We've got San Francisco at home against the 49ers. San Fran coming in as massive 11-point favorites here. And for anybody that is not familiar, or if maybe you forgot, how the Rumble wrinkle works is that the contest locks Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. However, you can still use any player, again, as long as you own their NFL All Day moment. So you can use any player. That means that for these Thursday night games, you can still lock in those players and know exactly how many points they are scoring for the week. This is something that makes games like Rumble, games like TOC very different, right? Because you not only have that element of trying to predict who's going to score the most points on Sunday, trying to project out the different matchups, but you have that marketplace element where you can leverage the Thursday night game and get a big advantage. And we saw this play out exactly last week, right? It was the Eagles versus the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. Ended up being a high-scoring game, ended up being multiple fantasy scores that ended up being in the winning lineups, right? Kirk Cousins, I believe, finished as the number 1 quarterback coming from the Thursday night game. So you could lock in those points and know that you're solid heading into Sunday, and then you build your lineup around those core pieces. Now, for the really strategic folks out there, the trick is this starts now, right? So you know that San Francisco and the New York Giants are playing tonight. You can project out that it's very possible someone like Christian McCaffrey has a massive game, especially at home as an 11-point favorite. Christian McCaffrey, the number 1 running back in the league. So what that does is that gives you an opportunity to pack your bags with Christian McCaffrey NFL all-day moments, with San Francisco running back TOC cards in preparation for that big game. So for tonight's game specifically, McCaffrey, certainly someone to keep an eye out. But I also think someone like George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, right? There's a lot of weapons in that San Francisco offense. And then on the Giants side, we've got some plays as well. So let's head on over here to Rumble HQ. So you've got Daniel Jones projected at 17. So here's what I like tonight, right? The tight end position is often the one where it's the hardest to predict every week, and like a lot of tight ends simply don't score that many points. So as kind of a macro strategy, I like the idea of stacking up tight ends prior to the Thursday night game. This can apply to both Rumble and to TOC, but by loading up on those tight ends prior to the Thursday night game, I mean, the downside is not so bad, right? You could very likely resell them for the price in the event that they don't have a good game, and it just kind of is what it is. Maybe you take a small loss, but for the most part, you took a swing and didn't really lose much for it. But more importantly, if and when one of them has a big game, you're sitting pretty because you have the opportunity to either play those moments, those TOC cards in your lineup, or you have the opportunity to resell them in the marketplace for a higher price, right? So by being ahead of the curve and by picking up some Darren Waller moments before the game starts, now you're ahead of the first quarter. Darren Waller scores a touchdown, right? Some people start to wake up and they're buying Darren Waller. Maybe he ends up getting over 100 yards and a touchdown and has himself a 16, 17, 18-point game. Now people are coming in the fourth quarter and buying Darren Waller. They're coming in tomorrow and buying Darren Waller. They're showing up Sunday morning and being like, I need a tight end. Oh, I can lock in points from Darren Waller, right? So, you know, in these types of game formats, there's edge in being early to some of these ideas. And, you know, sometimes that involves seeing what might happen down the line if certain things happen in tonight's game and packing up your bags accordingly. So that's kind of my macro Thursday night wrinkle strategy. I did want to touch on that and spend a decent amount of time on that because I think it's a very important part of the game. It's a fun part of the game. And like I said last week, I mean, we saw it pay dividends with that Minnesota versus Philly game. And, you know, I think most Thursday nights there's going to be at least one or two pieces that become relevant. And by preparing for that ahead of time, you give yourself some outs to, again, not only do well in the contest by using those players and those TOC cards and locking in those points, but also playing the marketplace angle while we're at it. All right, zooming out from beyond just that Thursday night game, let's look at some of the matchups here and see what we've got. Denver and Miami, interesting one here. Yeah, this is the big one. 54-point over-under. Chargers at Vikings. Two teams with high-powered, explosive offenses. Not the greatest of defenses. Minnesota just a 1-point favorite, so should be a close game. This is definitely one that is going to be popular. You know, Miami has been looking great so far this season, and TOC Miami wide receiver card is absolutely deadly. Denver has been looking pretty solid so far, so, you know, game to target there. Definitely quite a few lopsided matchups here this week, right? We've got Kansas City as 13-point favorites over the Bears. Got the Cowboys as 12.5-point favorites over the Cardinals. Jacksonville, 8.5-point favorites. Baltimore, 8-point favorites. So couple of the big name teams in some lopsided games, and then you've got Buffalo at Washington, Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. Not the greatest environments. This one could end up being sneaky here. Cincy versus the Rams. The Rams have started off very hot this season, and I mean, my goodness, Puka Nacua has got to be the the most like zero to hero immediately in fantasy football of all time. Someone who was not even getting drafted in most leagues, now looking like a top 10 wide receiver, at least during this time when Cooper Kupp is out. Cincinnati off to a horrendous start this season. Not sure what is going on with them, but they have not looked good. But I mean, my goodness, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, we know they have the talent. So I think this could potentially be a sneaky game here as the Monday night game. So we've got a nice little 2-game Monday night slate happening there. Yeah, so high level look at the slate. If we check out Rumble HQ here, we have our projections. These are just kind of standard projections that come in from our provider, but I think they directionally help understand kind of where you're at. And what you can do is you can use this to prepare for building your lineups. As you can see, you'll get a check mark for any of the players where you own one of their NFL all-day moments, meaning that you can use them in Rumble. One click away here, hit you right to the Rumble lobby where you can enter the contest. But Mahomes, Allen, and Hurts, as expected, and even Lamar Jackson, as expected, the top 4 projected quarterbacks on the slate. However, I don't think any of them have great matchups this week specifically. So it's definitely a week where you could see any of these middle range QBs get into the mix. So, could be a week where you go chalky with some of the stud players at the running back, wide receiver, and tight end positions. And then, maybe you work in a stack that's a little more unconventional and a quarterback that is going to come in at under 10% owned, right? Rather than playing these top end guys. I think it's a good week for that. At the running back, of course, we have Christian McCaffrey at the top of the board. And on top of that, we will know his exact results after this evening's game. So, it's a good time to own Christian McCaffrey moments and San Francisco running back cards just ahead of tonight's game. Certainly a good chance that McCaffrey puts up 25, 30 points, and then you just kind of have to have him this week. Tony Pollard is also somebody that I am super bullish on rest of season. This matchup with Arizona is a nice one. Dallas, as we talked about, is a massive, massive favorite. So I have Tony Pollard as my overall running back 2, just behind Christian McCaffrey. Has a great role with that Cowboys offense. That Cowboys defense is looking deadly out there. So definitely expect them to be holding some leads in a lot of games and pounding the rock with Tony Pollard and just also a super talented player. Yeah, so I mean, I think these top 3 are pretty clear top tier, and then you've got all kinds of options from there. You've got Bijan, you've got Travis Etienne, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs here with David Montgomery and that injury situation, but still not expecting Gibbs to get that 100% workhorse role. Josh Jacobs going up against the Steelers. So lots of different ways that you can end up going here with the running back. I do think the top kind of 5 to 10 guys are where I would focus my efforts. And, assuming McCaffrey has a good game tonight, I don't hate the idea of just locking in McCaffrey, locking in either Eckler or Pollard, and keeping it to the chalk at the running back spot. Wide receiver. So here's where you can get different, right? There are so many of these guys that any given week can just go out there and absolutely light the slate on fire. Justin Jefferson certainly going to be the top play this week, not only is he just the consensus wide receiver one in general in the league, but has a great game environment here with that Chargers Vikings game. Again, 54-point total there, or was it 51? 54-point total. So massive shootout potential there. Love Justin Jefferson. I think he is the locked in wide receiver one for this week. Beyond that, Jamar Chase has struggled so far this season. Maybe a good chance to go back to the well there if people are going to be getting a little bit gun shy. Keenan Allen had a big game last week. He's in that matchup with Justin Jefferson and the Vikings. So I could see going with a little, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen kind of stack there, playing for that shootout. And then at the tight end spot, as always, Travis Kelce going to come in as the clear number one. I think tight end is a spot where you don't need to get too crazy. If you have Travis Kelce, fire him on in there. Otherwise, I'd stick to one of these top guys. But, at the same time, we've seen some random big tight end games happening here. And then also from a TOC perspective, I like targeting those teams that have multiple tight ends and just like run those kind of goal line packages where any of those tight ends could end up getting some touchdowns. So New England tight end has been a great one all season long so far. And just overall, I think that's a strong way to approach the tight end position in the Owners Club game. So there we have it. Quick breakdown of the slate there. If anybody in chat has questions about anything. Okay. So we got some talk about CMC rares going down. Ace John says CMC rare is always nice to have. Ace John, man, congrats on a huge week last week. Ace John was all over the leaderboards across Rumble, across TOC, and we talked about the wrinkle. Ace John is a veteran of these games, and he knew that wrinkle was going to come into effect last week, leveraged it to create a bunch of really, really strong lineup combinations across all the different contests. So nice job, Ace John there. Like I said, free Rumble here. 1549 entries. Get on in there. And you know what else we have? We've still got to run a little giveaway. Pick a winner here. So yesterday we ran. So yesterday was NFT day. Shout out NFT day. So we ran through a little giveaway here. I'm going to pull the winner here on the show. So if you have not yet already, take some time right now, hammer this tweet or post with a like, with a repost, comment with a screenshot of your free Rumble roster below. We're going to pick a live winner at the end of this show. And in the meantime, so first, like I said, NFT day was yesterday. Thought there was some fun stuff going on there. I jumped over with the Boards to Bucket group, hopped on the stream with Dream for a bit there. I then also at nighttime went on the pitch zone with the first mint. So that was fun. Gave a little bit of the Own the Moment pitch, the Owners Club pitch, keeping everyone informed about all the stuff that we've got going on. And then for anybody that missed it, the first mint had Roham on their spaces yesterday. So first time in a while where we got to hear directly from Roham in a forum like that. Pretty good listen, I would say. I actually re-listened to it earlier today. I was taking some notes, just trying to get a lay of the land there in terms of everything that Roham's thinking about and all the exciting stuff that they have going on there over at Dapper Labs with Flow. Definitely clear that this new account linking thing is something that they're super into. So doing all of my kind of thoughts and research there, which leads me to the free Rumble game. So like we said, starting this week, we have free Rumble back. We are fortunate to be able to be doing this in partnership with Dapper Labs. So shout out to the team over at Dapper for helping us out and being able to make this happen. And yeah, I think it's great, fun opportunity for the community. And just as much as everyone can, A, make sure you're entering the contest every week, right? And then B, make sure you're spreading the word. So the different discords that you're in, if you see people that are NFL all day collectors but are maybe not aware of Rumble, let them know. And I guess all of this to say that the more activity and engagement we can get in these games, the better off it will be for everyone going forward, right? So if we want to continue to get the opportunity to run games like this where they are free to enter with prizes, we need to show that there's value and interest and demand for such games. So yeah, I mean, in full transparency, it's super helpful if everybody is going in and entering the contest. It helps us in our discussions with Dapper Labs. It helps Dapper Labs in their discussions internally to show like, hey, this does move the needle. People are buying more moments because of utility and gamification like Rumble. So that's kind of the thing off the jump. And then, so with that in mind, we have also been thinking, how can we also, as Own the Moment, make it so that Rumble is more than just a weekly contest and has a little bit more of like a full season kind of vibe to it. And in the past, we've done cumulative leaderboards. I think those are fun and have like the right time and place. Didn't want to do a cumulative leaderboard because it makes it so that you have to play every single week, and if you miss 1 week, then you can no longer win. And so what we have arrived on is this concept of the Iron Man bonus. And in transparency, we're still working out some of these specifics here. So we'll probably have a more in-depth explanation in the next week or two as we figure out the best way to execute on it. But the idea is similar to what we did in the playoff hoops contest to reward people that are playing every single week. So high level, there will be 15 weeks of free Rumble. It starts week 3. It ends week 17. 15 weeks of competition. And the ultimate Iron Man bonus will be split amongst all people that play at least 12 out of the 15 weeks. So play 12 plus weeks. Ideally play all 15, right? But just in case people happen to miss a week here, a week there, play 12 plus weeks, and you become eligible for your share of the Iron Man bonus. And then what we are going to do to determine the Iron Man bonus is spin a wheel. So we're going to put values on a wheel. Think the $1,000 to $5,000 kind of range here. And we spin the wheel, and whatever value hits, that is the amount that all of the eligible qualifiers will split. So that's the kind of full season concept of the Iron Man bonus. But then also within that, we are going to split it into 3 5-week segments as well. So again, there are 15 total weeks of free Rumble. Play at least 12 of those 15 and become eligible for the end of season Iron Man bonus. And then also 3 smaller Iron Mans in between that. So how these work is that you need to play 4 out of the 5 weeks. And then after each 5-week period, for all of the people that played at least 4 of the 5 weeks, we will put all of those names onto a wheel, and we will spin the wheel for 5 winners. The prize is TBD there. It will likely be, maybe it's going to be some gold from OTM. So some OTM gold, maybe some NFL All Day packs. These are the details that we still need to work through on exactly what we're able to allow those prizes to be. But the idea is that every 5 weeks, we have a bit of a fun event. Everybody that's been playing Rumble the past 5 weeks shows up at the event. We have a wheel spin. You have a chance to win some significant prizes if you've been playing the game. And again, we would have 3 smaller 5-week Ironman segments and then have the overarching full season 15-week Ironman bonus that people can earn their share of. So that's what we have on the Ironman bonus right now. Again, this is just kind of a teaser. We are still working out some of the exact details. If anybody has any thoughts, feedback, ideas around this concept, certainly open to them. Feel free to post them in Discord. I'm always reading all the comments and making sure that I'm in the loop on what all of you are thinking about. And as always, appreciate the feedback, appreciate the support. Get on out there, enter your Rumble lineups, watch the game tonight, take advantage of that Rumble wrinkle, go find a friend, tell them to join the Rumble contest. Let's get this entry numbers as high as we can, and let's have a fun time competing, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. We love collecting and competing. And that's what we're going to do in Rumble all season long for free. There we have it. Thanks, everyone. See you all in Discord. Till next time. Peace.